Hey guys, welcome to another voiceover. My name is Sakimi-chan, and for this turn's voiceover, I will be painting the character Beidou from Genshin Impact. So I thought I'd knock this one out through voiceover. Wanted to paint the pinup of her anyway, so this is the perfect opportunity for it. As you can see, I've already finished establishing the background. Got the background done. Here's a bunch of edits that I did to the photo stock. Most of them are from Adobe stock and they still have the watermark. I just put a bunch together trying to see if it works, and then if I end up going with this, I will be doing a more cleaner version for it. And I also have different elements on separate layers, got that down. Sketch on multiply. So yeah, I'm gonna be layering the detail as I go along. So for now, we'll just have the general basic elements of her design. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna go with a dark color first. I'm gonna have lighting coming from the bottom for now. Ooh. And I'm gonna roughly block in her color too. Let's grab a bit of the warmer tone. And up on the back, let's go with more bluish tint. So we can have a nice contrast. And okay, blocking in the clothing. So this part is red for the most part. Then black. And that's gonna be separate. Here too, it's going to be red with a bit of black here. And the drape is this color and then red. Oh, same for here. Just filling in the basic color and essentially just also at the same time I'm adding in a bit of shadow for it too. I'll probably refine that part a bit later. Grab the fluff, so add a bit of this, add a bit of that, and the arms. I'm just gonna roughly color block the arm, even though it looks kind of messy. And then go for the sword, block that in, the hair too, block that in, oh wait, block that in, roughly shading like where I want the color to be, which might change as I go along. So onto this hair color. So I've been actually running into some issue with the Wacom, my Wacom Cintiq 21UX, which is the tablet I use. And it's a pretty old model. It's from I think from 5 or 6 years ago. It's an older model, and I've been running into some issues ever since I updated my Windows system. And sadly, it appears after doing some research that they decided to stop updating the drive, so sometimes it's extremely unstable, and it kind of sucks that Wacom decided to take this route. So note to self, I actually bought two of these tablets. One I already had 5 years ago since I was working full-time at another job, and another one after I started Patreon as a backup in case, you know. And actually a bad idea, because now I have two tablets that is out of date because Wacom decided that it's not worth updating the drive for it. Kinda sucks, but yeah, don't buy two tablets because you never know when they're gonna put it out of commission. But yeah, I might have to invest in a newer model just so that it doesn't run into much issues. But yeah, so we have the base done, kind of. It's still pretty rough. But yeah, basically after doing a base color, I'm gonna start just kind of slowly refine it bit by bit. I'm just going to rotate it as well. This is also a older version of Photoshop that I prefer using it because I guess out of habit, but any Photoshop should be able to do this. Unless it's an older model, they might not have the rotating function. But the newer one, for sure, it should have it. So rotating it so I can paint it as if it was from bottom up. I mean, yes, this way I think it's a bit more comprehensible. Let's select that part. So I'm gonna have a bit of lighting hitting her back here. I'm gonna slowly shade the arm up here. Add a bit of warm tone. So I'm gonna keep in general the shadow up and the highlight on the bottom area. So still sticking with airbrush is a good way to get fast render done for the most part. Now painting the booty might take a while. Let's go ahead and auto contrast this. Do it like that. Let's add a bit of lighting here. Take a bit of the color. Add some purple. I think the leg is quite thick. I might tone that down a bit as I go along. I'm gonna bring this detail over. I might need to bring that up a bit. Reset, rotate, gradually remove the lines bit by bit. I'm going to try to refine the armpit a bit more, so start rendering that out with a bit more shadow and stuff. Using the airbrush for this. It's a little airbrushy, but this is just to get the color across for the most part, and then I'm gonna gradually refine as well as I do that. Add a bit of red there. Okay, I need to have a proper look at the design. I want to try to get it as accurate as I can, and most of the design for Genshin Impact is quite detailed, so definitely need a nice detailed view of what is going on. So let's get a bit of this going on. I'm just going to roughly line where the design is, and there's a bit of darker color around here too. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. Let me start coloring the chest. Okay, I need to paint a bit of a ripple under. I'm just gonna indicate a line for the center. And then I might need to edit this, so I'm gonna put it on a separate layer. So this is gonna be wrapped around her. Need to make sure that it makes sense the way it's wrapped around. And then we have some gold design. And this is actually gonna continue in this drape down here. So, oh, hold on, clean that up properly. Okay. And actually, the black fabric extends till here. Just making some changes. So this part of the drawing is just trying to get the design right. Or at least try to interpret it in a way that makes sense. I know this part actually should be closer to this part, but we'll just leave it like that. You know, open to interpretation and all that. Delete. Reset. Okay. Now I reset the view. Let's go ahead and do a bit of rendering here. I'm gonna use a bit of the warmer color down here. Put that there. This part is definitely a little challenging. I don't think I've done a pose like this yet, so it's gonna be a little iffy, so we're gonna take it slow, clean up that area. I'm going to multiply, add some shadow around. Over here, subtly add some shadow. And gradually over here, add that in, add a bit of shadow underneath. That's where I'm gonna have a more concentrated highlight. I'm gonna cut that part. Oh, hold on. No, it won't work. I was going to make it a little bit brighter. I'm going to add a bit more of the background color on there and then darken this part. That might make a bit more sense. Now rotate it back. Blend that in. I'm gonna try to kind of contour the hips a bit more now. I'll take this color. Make sure this part is very much contrast, but trying to continue the flow of highlight on that area. So that means I'm gonna copy that area and make it a little bit brighter, and then erase bits of it to blend it better into the rest of that area. And then okay, now I'm going to see what I can do with the booty, because I wonder if it's too big. Let's rotate this and have a look. I don't think it's too big. Maybe the face needs to be a little smaller. Actually, let me rotate this and And do that. Basically keeping this area brighter and then darken this leg up. If I do that, then it will bring a bit more contrast to the back compared to the back side. I mean, the back compared to the booty. And also I can maybe bring it over here a bit, make it a little longer. Maybe like this. Actually, I think this is okay. That should be okay. Alright, I guess this will have to do. Let me play around with the hair. I mean the head in general. Maybe make it a little bit. Make it like this. And the fluff, bring it in a bit. Just trying to make sure it makes sense and all. Yeah, I think, yep. Trying to just feel it a little, the composition, see if it's alright. I'm going to add a bit of warm tone to the face. Cool tone on top. General bit more warm tone on the face. And then try to give a bit of facial detail. So she is also a mask, I mean a eye patch wearer, just like, oh no, I forgot her name already, but you guys know the the buff cat lady. Damn it, why did I forget her name? That reminds me, I need to catch up on that anime. I'm blocking in that eye patch. Add some highlight underneath that nose. And okay, I'm still not sure what style I want to go for, but let's go for this style. I might even change it up a little, but yeah, my eyes in rough form usually look kind of like this. Pretty rough. Fill it in with a rough color. Honestly, not too sure what kind of expression to go for. Just do a rough eyes and mouth. I want her eyes to be a bit more sultry. I'll bring that eyeliner down a bit more, like that, and actually edit it a bit, make her face up a bit more. rotate the hair too. Oh, I kind of like it when it's hiding her mouth a little. Bring the hair down. Yeah, I like that. She's got plenty of detail to work on afterwards too. Right now, getting the basic such as her hair down stuff is my focus, and then after I can work on more of her smaller outfit decorations. Delete. Oh. Let's go here real quick. Copy. Make it a little darker. I think what I'll do is make the bottom half a little darker and the top part a bit more brighter. Going to color balance. I wonder what color I want to go for. Go back with the airbrush. Let's go with a bit of this color and soft light. Add a bit of soft light. I'm looking back and forth and trying to see if it works. Let me actually copy this whole entire part. Auto contrast, nothing happened. Color balance, play around with it a bit. I could go with more of a cool tone towards the top and bottom, have it lean more warm tone. So bottom, make it a little warmer. Merge down, delete. I'm grabbing the concept for her. I'm gonna kind of rotate it so I can get a better view while I paint some of the details. Okay, let's see what we can do. I'm gonna work on the body layer a bit more, create a new layer on top. And just gonna clean this up while I'm at it. There. Add a bit of the red highlight on top seam. Same for here. And I'm just gonna focus on, actually, you see the gold trim there? I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So it looks like this. Well, at least that's how I'm gonna have it. Back to here. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint that. have a look here. Okay, I'm going to take this color. Gonna do a couple of do a bit of detail where the fabric is kind of pulling at the seam, so to speak. Let's get a darker color. Now for here, just gonna have it kind of pulling detail, and gradually extend that up. Select that area. I'm just going to add a bit of blue tone to this part. 1 second. Okay, I'm just kind of making sure my preview on the secondary screens is zoomed in a bit or with a better angle. I'm selecting around. Let's go ahead and shade that up. All right. Let's go ahead and add some more wrinkles here. Add some more wrinkles. Same for here. I'm just gonna select that tiny space, blend that out. And as for here, let's add a bit of skin tone in here. There's a bit of detailing going on with the dark portion for this area. Let's add, and take a bit of this purple. I'm just going to kind of sort of blend this in from above. Add a bit of highlight. Blend that in. Let's add a bit of warm tone there. Let's continue here. Bring that down. I think I can have some fun doing a bit of small bit of lace detail, kind of just scribbling more like, and then maybe add a bit of skin tone, fill in real quick. that. Add some more lace. Okay. That did a bit of, did some good over here with the additional detail and all. Okay, so this is the strap on the back area. I mean, I took some liberties with it, so it's not matching up 100%. Then I'm gonna add a bit of color under, just kind of blending it in. Also refining the arm a bit. Looks just a tad too thick, so slowly refine it. Bring back some of that highlight. Let me go ahead and smoothly blend the arm in. I might need to actually make the head a little bigger. Okay. Make the head a little bigger. Should I? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna select this whole part and make the arm just a bit thinner. There. And I wonder how it would look if I made this a bit bigger. Hold on, let me merge this down. Oh. It kind of could be the perspective. I think that might work. Flip it. Yeah, I think that should do. Okay, now I'm going to try to work on the chest a little. Nothing too much to keep in mind, really. Other than shadow from above, highlight from below. So that's the pattern I'm going for the lighting at least. Let's get a bit of the blue here. Add that, oh. Add that in. Take a bit of this. And I'm going to grab the skin part, brighten it. I'm gonna darken the bra part a bit more. Nothing, honestly. there doesn't seem to be too much detail going on. I will just have to paint a bit of seam detail in the clothing. I'm gonna go there, make it a little darker. I think what I'll do to make it a bit more detailed is maybe add a bit of design to the covering here, or even add a bit of lace detail afterwards, because it feels a little empty to me. Okay, let's go here, remove, rotate, go into lighten. I'm just going to lighten the bottom area. Do that. And even kind of go around here. And add some shine. Just trying to make it a bit more interesting to look at. Select that part, auto contrast, merge down, create a new layer. Let's put opacity to 50%, and I'm just gonna keep at it, add some more reflective light, and introduce a bit of blue. Lower opacity. Let's zoom in here. Okay, so create a new layer. How they look. Okay. Let me do one shape here. Duplicate the shape, flip it to the other side. Okay. Merge down. Skew it up. Lock it down. There we go. I mean, it's not too pretty. I think I can make it a little prettier by adding some slight details. Add a bit of lighting here. Just painting some fold impressions. And I'm just going to add some impressions of the shoulder blade and stuff using the airbrush. Cleaning that up. Let's go here. Add a bit of shadow. It's a bit too sharp, so gotta softly blend that in. Let's go here. Let's go here. I'm just going to blend lighting here. I'm gonna have to soften this part too because it's a bit too harsh and too sharp. Just keeping it fairly soft. Merge down. Soften that up. Take a bit of that. Make it a little brighter. Softening up the shadow. I'm using the airbrush to blend this part. I think for skin tone in general, I try to keep it soft. And even sometimes using the lasso tool could be a little bit too harsh for it. Delete. Let me create a new layer. Select that. Let's add a bit of highlight. Add a bit of shine here. And gradually blend that in. Add that, soften that up. Let's add a bit of highlight down here. I'm testing out a bunch of colors for shading just to see what works pretty much. Let's take a bit of the cool tone, bring it up. Let's go ahead and add a bit of warm tone coming from below. I think maybe this will do. Delete that before, after. Let me go ahead and add a bit of shadow around here. Let's add a bit more on top. Increase the color contrast a bit. Take a bit of that color, bring it there. I'm going to line it a bit. Testing out to see what works and what doesn't. Let's work on the leg a little bit. I'm going to just put the reference a bit closer to the leg so I can have a look here. Okay. I guess most of the details we won't be able to see it because it's on the other side. So I'm gonna create the shape for it first. Oh, shape for the flap. Also painting out the details for it as well. So she's got some interesting design there. Using the lasso tool to help me create a bit of drop down shadow here. I'm going to do a inner layer. It's her stocking is quite interesting. So this is the rough look for it. I'm just going to then continue some of the shading on the bottom of the leg, as well as start adding some fabric wrinkles for the stocking. That's usually one of my favorite thing to do, just kind of painting some wrinkles. And I'm just focusing these wrinkles where the joint is, where the joint is, or usually where there's movements, and also including several tiny wrinkles on the upper area too. Smoothly transition that. Also cleaning up the silhouette a bit. I guess I will be painting a bit like that. Delete. Let's go here a bit. Add some lighting here. I mean, what's it called? Not lighting. Some highlight up here. I'm going to use a cool tone for that. Let's go do this. Add a bit of shadow up here. Add a bit of shadow towards the end for these two areas. Add a bit of drop down shadow there. Okay, and add a bit of skin tone in here, merge down, and then actually no, I'm going to select the, what is this part? Going to select that part, liquefy, and I just want to drag the edge up a bit to make it feel a bit more hold on. I think I'll select the whole leg here, drag it up. Maybe I need to drag the whole leg up a bit. Just trying to see if I can get that impression of her leg tilting upwards. I'm gonna use this tool. Like that, and fill in the empty space here. So I think now it feels more like her leg is tilted that way. And of course after that there is plenty of areas to work on to be able to make it feel like the clothing is stuck on her skin pretty much. Just gonna add a bit of shadow here. Bring it down a bit. And gonna see if I can slowly add in a bit of shadow near some of these areas. Let me use a bit of yellowish tint there. Just going to slowly blend this. Drag this up. I'm gonna contour that other side. Add a bit of shadow. Gonna apply a tiny bit of shadow underneath here. Blend it out. I'm just gonna softly blend that in. Hopefully the booty looks better like that. I might have to repaint this part a bit more, but that is the general idea of it. Rotate this back. I wonder if it's too thick. I might have to further play around with the leg part here. I'm gonna use the lasso tool to help me isolate this specific area, create another layer, so I can just kind of experiment, see how it would look if made this part darker. Add a bit of highlight. See how it would look if I made the bottom part brighter. The leg might need to be a bit smaller in size. Let me merge down first and then copy, darken this part. And I'll play around with the colors a bit. Maybe this color. Okay, now I'm going to add another source of lighting on this side. Copy paste, hue saturation, make it a little brighter. Like that. Maybe just on the stocking. And of course, just going to erase certain areas to adjust. merge down. Select the whole bottom area. I'm gonna be playing around with the thickness a bit, see what I can do here. And I'm going to actually cut the other leg and make sure that it... Actually, you know what? What I'm gonna do is copy this leg, flip it. Oh, actually it doesn't look too good. I was going to use the other leg and see like what I can do with it on the other side, or at least use it as a base to paint off of. I could probably still do that. Make it a little darker. Let me see. Let me tweak around a few things. I'm gonna bring the butt cheek in up a bit, so the other butt cheek will show a bit more. And I'm going to move the other leg silhouette in. Tuck it close to the other leg. Lock down. Add a bit of shadow and highlight to the other side. Rotate real quick. Let me have a look here. And rotate. I think maybe this will make a bit more sense. Okay, and then I'm going to see if I can make it a little bit, oops, this part, make the bottom area a bit bigger again. So that it feels a bit more in perspective. So her rear is closer to the audience, so therefore should be just a little bit bigger. Yeah, hopefully it makes sense. Okay. Move this a little closer. I think I need to move this a little closer. Delete. Cleaning up the silhouette so that it looks a little better, and shape it up a bit too. So yeah, it's looking a little messier than before, but this is pretty much what I do a lot of the times, is just trying to experiment, see what works better, and flip the canvas often to make sure that nothing weird is happening. And also, let me go ahead and shape that booty a bit more. Make it a little cleaner. Copy that part, bring it in. Add a bit of... actually, that might be a bit too sharp. Add a bit of shadow. It's still a little bit too sharp, I think. The detail anyways, but it's a start. And around the leg, just going to blend that in nicely. Add a bit of highlight near the center there. Merge down. Let's select this area. Use a slightly brighter tone to highlight the booty. Okay, and let's take that color and blend it this way. Oh. Select that side, and I'm gonna see if I can see what shading works here. Experimenting a bit here. Okay. Merge down. Take that. Darken that up. Oh. Erase. Oh, hold on. Erase it a bit. Oh, whoops. Okay. Save real quick. Just trying to darken that side a bit. Actually, what I can also do is select this whole part, auto contrast. Maybe darken that up a bit, because we're trying to make sure the upper torso is brighter than the lower torso, because we're gonna make sure that the area closest to the audience is gonna be in shadow a bit more. I wonder how it would look if I just added a bit of light on top here. Delete. Flip that. And I think I need to work on that area a bit more, but for now, let's go back to the stocking. Needs a bit more work, so I'm gonna start off with this area. Start to incorporate a bit of cool tone in the shading here. And as for the embellishment on her stocking, I'm just going to actually experiment a bit by adding some texture to the area that is being hit by the highlight or light in general. Trying to see how it would look if I did these little strokes in form of highlight to some of these areas. See how that looks. Actually, it looks pretty interesting, but I might change that up a little later as well. But it doesn't hurt to experiment. Back to the bottom area, just going to blend that in, shading in a bit of tendon for the leg. Including some wrinkles here and there. Lock that in. Hold on. Add a bit of shadow on the other side here. And then I'm going to take a bluish tint. And I'm going to use it to add some highlight to her stocking. Let's go ahead and pick a slightly lighter color. Using the airbrush to do this. Just going to add in a bit of highlight in some of the wrinkle area. And then down below. Go ahead and take a bit of this color. Add it to the edge, might be a bit too bright. I'll do it on this leg here. Introduce a bit of highlight. Add a bit of highlight towards the top portion. And use the lasso tool to help me blocking that area. Add a bit of shine variant to the trimming here. I can go and really clean up the silhouette for that side of the leg. And I'm gonna do so for this side of the leg as well, just trying to clean that up here. Clean it up, make it squish nicely. Okay, so it's a little bit more detail. Definitely could use more rendering. And then we have the drape. I wonder if maybe I should push it a bit more in terms of kind of just making it a little bit bigger. Okay, let me just play around with the proportions a bit more. Make it a bit thicker and stuff. it's a little bit messier. Bottom. I guess I can call this the bottom. Have it on a separate layer. Cut that part and put it on the body layer. Oh, okay. Blend that. Let's go here, select a bit of highlight and put it right where it's wrapped around her leg, the stocking I mean. Let's see, check out the reference here. Okay. So I'm gonna grab that color real quick. I'm just going to roughly paint out the little tassel here. Yeah, I think we won't be able to see it that well actually. It's probably actually gonna be like hidden. Add some shadow to it. This should probably be like a small detail I work on after everything is rendered out a bit more. Okay, back to the booty. I just need to smooth out this area using the smudge tool there. Oh, I didn't smudge it correctly. Copy paste. Just gonna bring that in a bit. Clean that area up. Clean this area up too. Add a bit of highlight, ever so subtly, to these areas. Usually painting these areas, I have to be very sparing with how I add highlight or shadow, because I need to keep that area really soft and stuff. Alright guys, welcome back. So I did do some work off camera to speed things up. I went ahead and adjusted the background, so I grabbed the high-res version of the background image that I was using because I liked the direction it was going, so I was like, okay, let's commit to that for now. And I also did some work on her, mostly on the face and on the hand and on the sword. So the sword itself, it is a 3D render of the sword that I found on Google by googling her sword, and I'm using that as a base. I will be painting over it. I went ahead and refined the hand a little. It's still a little rough, but it gets the point across. So that's essentially what I did. I think, I'm not sure if I did the shading for the drape on camera or not, but if I didn't, I also worked on that as well. But anyways, let's continue. I also added a bit of undie, um, but I'm not sure if I did that on camera or not. But basically, it's just a separate layer in case I just have that minimum coverage, you know. All right, so I'm going to be working on the top half of her now. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's see. Okay, I think I want to work on the face a bit. I'm going for a more anime look, and this is that looks like. Maybe bring her face inward, make it a little thinner. But yeah, that's what I have for that. Let's go ahead and work on the hair. I did do some rough work for the hair, indicating where the highlight is roughly and stuff like that, and I'm gonna try to keep most of the highlight or intense highlight towards the bottom, and on the top we'll just apply some rim light, or I guess you could call it highlight, but it won't be as intense as the bottom where most of that light intensity will be coming from. So I've already established some basic color, which I will be using blue tone in the area where the hair is in shadow, and I think her hair is brown. Looks quite dark. I'm gonna go ahead and use a bit of the dark color to add a bit more contrast. Select. Let's take a bit of this. And just gonna gradually blend that in. Also, I'm gonna be using the lasso tool to help me with that too. This is a slightly different angle, because usually you see her depicted the other way around. Oh, facing her head facing the other way. I have it slightly different, so it might not look like her too much. Hopefully we can change that after I add her hair accessories. Her hair accessories are quite iconic, so I need to create another hair layer underneath here. Let's do drape hair like that. Lock that down. And go back to the hair layer. I'm going to create another layer. And sometimes I like to do a bit of layering for the hair. It's kind of funny. I said I was gonna create a layer and then layering for the hair. I sometimes like to stack hair layers, and after doing that, kind of play around with the positioning for it. Sometimes it end up looking better, but sometimes it's not as good. So a lot of times we won't know until we try. So I'm going to bring the highlight down a bit. There we go. Okay. Something needs to be edited a bit. I'm going to play around with the hair on the side here. And actually, maybe I should be layering a bit of hair on this side since it's a bit more visible to the audience. And it'll probably be easier to tell the difference in hair strand and stuff. Let me copy that section and bring it like that. Lock that down. Maybe even reduce opacity sometimes. And probably gonna be doing this a bit more for the hair, just to create a bit of layering and different textures and stuff like that. Let me go ahead and pick a warmer tone. Something is not quite right. Might be the face, I'm not sure. Bring down the head a bit, just testing out kind of how it would look if I change the anatomy or the change up the face a little bit. See what works, especially in this style. Trying to kind of explore my anime style a bit more. I'm trying to develop something that I would like. But yeah, just kind of going up on the head and trying to blend it in. Okay, let's see how it would look if I brought this over a bit more. Okay, I'm gonna just grab that patch of hair and just bring it over as well. Let me go to the face layer, fix that, go here. Let's see how it would look if I play around with the position of the hair a bit more. And always have a backup version of this just in case you want to go back, because sometimes, you know, we can all get a little bit too into kind of editing our pieces, and you know, I've been a big artist that kind of over edit sometimes, so it's always good to have a previous version that you can go back to, which I currently got into the practice of doing that. And after several harsh lessons of my Photoshop crashing or power outage, stuff like that, and me losing out a lot of work time because my file corrupted or whatnot and I did not back up, stuff like that, I learned that it's always good to have kind of save multiple versions as you work on the piece, so that, you know, in case that happens, at least you can go back and you'll have something to work from. Man, those were not fun times. So I'm continue to add hair detail, trying my best to make it look silky. And there goes the pressure, the drive glitching on me. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, there it goes again. I'm just gonna gradually paint the highlight, pulling towards one point at the back of her hair. Using a smaller brush, just kind of doing that detail. Take a bit of this, bring it around. So I'm looking at the reference and kind of trying to figure out what would look best. But essentially I am layering on the highlight, and that is my preferred way to paint hair, is to do the shadow, the mid-tone, and then the highlight. You can do it any which way that you prefer. It's up to you to try them out and determine which one you like better, pretty much. A lot of artists prefer different techniques, and the only way for you to figure out which way you like best is just to try them out and stuff. I think this is a good amount of detail for the hair. If I were to zoom out, I think it would work okay. Probably could use a bit more detail later on, but for now, let's continue. I'm going to start rendering the hair tuft. Add some shadow now. I'm going to use the lasso tool to help me isolate those areas there, and just kind of gradually blend that in. Let's go ahead and bring the highlight up here now. Okay, I think what I'll do is gonna take a bit of that and extend that up and raise it a bit and make it feel like it is going like this, like that. Create a bit of volume to the top of the head and see how that goes. I think that actually looks pretty good. Let's go back to the original hair layer and continue. As for the bottom area of the hair, I'm just going to select a few areas, going to hue saturation, increase the saturation, and make it a bit brighter. Like this. It's kind of it's not a very clean, but let's see how I can kind of clean this up a bit. let's go ahead and bring this up. Take a bit of this. I'll keep the highlight towards the bottom area. I'm going to delete a bit of that hair. I want the nose to show. Or should I hide the nose? I'm not sure. Okay, this is where the hair is. Okay, let's go to this part right here. And I'm going to select a bit of the hair and make it a little bit brighter. Take this color, the brown, more brown shade, and I'm just going to blend that in with the change of color. Let's do it over here too. Oh, whoops. Now that that's done, go back to the face layer. I'm gonna... Oh, what's going on here? Oh god. It was lagging a bit. Lock it down. Just going to shade the ear a bit. I'm going to add some shadow towards the top of the head. Going to the fluff. Oh, hold on. The fluff is actually drawn a little bit differently on this character. Oh. First, go with the gray. And then I'm just going to blend the highlight in. Oh, hold on. Let's go here to add a bit of highlight towards that side. And add a bit of silhouette. Bring some small hair towards the top. Just makes it look a little bit fluffier when you zoom out and stuff. Let's continue down here. Add a bit of shadow towards the bottom. Lock that in. Let's add a bit of skin tone in as well. Maybe not that much. Oh well. Let me add a bit of shadow. Oh. I think that's a good amount of render. Let's go go back to the hair. Can continue to add a bit more detail. I'm gonna apply a bit of a ring highlight around this particular area, and then go in to add a bit of texture. And add a bit more detail towards the bottom part of the updo here. Add some rogue strands. Might not be the right shape for this actually, but actually I could probably cut this off and put this layer under and play around with how it looks. Maybe even play around with the contrast. Okay, like that. I'm gonna continue. Do a bit of detailing for the hair on this side. Like that. Maybe it is the nose part. Maybe I bring it in a bit. Make it not as pointy. And make the eyebrows a little bit more angular. Before, after. And trying to make her not look as neutral. Give her a more stern look. And I'm going to also play around with the angle of her eyes too. Maybe change the direction of her eyebrows, maybe. be... Actually, hold on. Gonna take this whole face, bring it up a bit, and bring it up. Flip it. Okay. Actually, it doesn't look too bad flipped. We will have to continue working on the face. The face is a continuous project. Play around with the proportions and whatnot, you know? I think what's gonna sell the character is her hairpin, because right now I'm not feeling it. Before that, I'm going to do a bit of color balance and do this. I'm gonna be making the top area a bit more blue. Duplicate this effect and apply it to these two hair layers. So, okay. Copy this eye, make it a little smaller. And actually, nah, let's not. Okay, let me just go with this for now. And as for the fluff, I would also like to make the fluff a bit more blue towards the upper portion. I'm going to darken the fluff first. Darken that up. Add a bit more blue towards the upper area of the fluff. And then add back the color for the fluff. I think that makes more sense for sure. Okay, now onto the body layer. I'm going to slowly clean the arm up and clean it up, I guess, in general, and start detailing that area up. There's a few areas to touch up on. Let me add a bit of trimming or a highlight, which is basically to help the fabric look a bit more thicker. Take that, put it on the red fabric. That should do it. Let's take this. Do that. I think I would probably need to make this a bit more blue. Create another layer. Take this color. And I'm going to just gradually introduce some blue. and gradually clean this area up. Add some shadow near the clothing. Let's go here and do the same thing, add a bit of shadow around that area. And gonna take a bit of blue again, bring it to that part of her bra. Yeah, something similar to this. Take this color, bring it up. Add a bit of the blue up onto this area too. Merge down. Okay, let's go ahead and do the hairpin. So what I'm gonna do with the hairpin is, this is usually what I do with props. I would find a quick base for it, so I'm just gonna take it from her 2D design, or I could do it manually. But sometimes, sometimes I just kind of feel a little lazy, so I end up doing this instead. I'm going to go ahead and pin it on her head. Let's put it here. Take this, bring it down so it makes sense. I'm just gonna edit this, make it a little longer, make it look a little nicer, and extend this. And start cleaning some of these areas up so that it looks nicer. Lock that in, and now we go back in to add some additional details to make it fancier, and this is where you can kind of do some extra little thing, maybe give it more angles and stuff like that to make it look fancier and stuff. Once you have the base, you can kind of go a little crazy with it. I'm just adding some additional shadows and whatnot, and I'm gonna check my brush settings real quick. Trying to see, because this is a different Cintiq setup that I have, so I'm slightly not used to how this feels when I paint, so I'm just checking out the setting for the brush to see what I can adjust. Okay, so this is a little bit more detailed. I can go ahead, make it a little more intense or darker, then go back to add some more lighting. See that? I just lost pen pressure, which really sucks. I might have to reinvest in another updated Cintiq version. Let me go down here to the tassel. Use the color that's already available. Go ahead and paint that out. Oh, you can see. Oh yeah, might be too much spacing. Too much brush spacing causes little round dots. So yeah, just remove that. Okay, so this is kind of a if you're feeling a little lazy, because you can do that, do a bit of paint over. So now that we have her hairpin, I think it actually makes her look a bit more iconic. It's kind of her trademark, so it feels more like her. Let's see what else we can add here. Alright, so we have these hairpins in the back. And I'm just gonna select these. Copy. Where is the hairpin accessory? Oh, where'd it go? Did I delete it by accident? Oh no, it's here. Hairpin. So I'm gonna have these ones on the other side. And these are actually gonna be reworked a lot, so I'm gonna use this as a guide to paint over it. I'm planning to make them look a bit more realistic and have a bit more volume, so lock that in first, and I'm gonna start by darkening up this area. Maybe make it a little more yellow too. See, by doing that, I already halfway there with my concept, which is making it look more gold. And go back to painting it. I'm gonna go for a oriental look. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint over it like this. Kind of like the oriental cloud design. Kind of like that. I think I'm going to move it over here a bit first. Let's go ahead and add a bit more of the cloud details. Add a little bit more ornate details in some of these areas. Let me go ahead and extend this a bit. Let's take the shadow in like that. But yeah, it's kind of fun doing this, kind of taking the original concept and trying to see, you know, if you can add something extra on top of the main idea. So that's what I kind of trying to go for with this. Delete. Let me just put it like this. Definitely looks a little different, but still kind of interesting, and can definitely spend a bit more time on this to make it look extra nice, such as such as adding, layering on more shadow. Ooh, very ornate. Oh gosh, I'm definitely not used to this setup. Let's go ahead and add a bit of blue. I'm just gonna use a smaller brush for this. And kind of just include it throughout the design with a something weird going on with the tablet. I'm pretty sad about it. Feels like there is no pressure, or the pressure is not as good as it used to be before I switched workstations. Yeah. Alrighty. So I changed my pen nib, so hopefully that solves the issue that I have. I think I might need to increase the canvas a bit or make the size a bit bigger. Kind of want to zoom in a bit. If you ever want to zoom in, that means your canvas is too small. Because you should always work at 100%. You shouldn't go over 100%. If you do, that means that your canvas is too small. And that's one of the thing I used to do when I first started digital painting. Is that I always zoomed in to 200% or 300% because I felt like I needed to see it close up. And later on, I learned that it's just better to make your canvas bigger and work at 100%. Yeah, I think the pressure is better now. So Wacom actually, or the Cintiq, comes with multiple pen nibs, and there's one pen nib with a spring, which I find offers a bit more pen pressure. So it allows me to kind of have a bit more variation when I press the pen or when I paint something. It feels a lot better. Feels like it's got more pressure. Let me just darken this up and even make it a little more yellow. I think I want to make this a little bigger. I do want these hairpins to really accentuate her design. So another thing I could probably try to do is going to gradient map, trying to make it a bit more gold. Okay, it does not have the preset, so I'm gonna make a gold preset. So essentially it's just gonna be a lot of let's add a highlight there and a dark color there. So to make it a little more gold, I kind of alternate between shadow, highlight, shadow, highlight, shadow, and etc. in this sort of pattern, which let me save that, which gives this sort of effect. Sometimes it could be too much, so kind of lower it a little. Or we can try putting this in different layer modes. Sometimes it gives different effects. So, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, something like this. I feel like it's an easy way for the gold effect. But it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes it just looks awkward, but sometimes it does make it look a little better. So in this instance, I'm not completely sold on this. I think I'm gonna go dodge and add let's add a bit of shine to these hairpins. Okay. Time to work on the drape. So I went ahead and found a reference, well, at least the best reference I can find. So let's take it step by step for the drape. So I'm gonna render out, let me see what it looks like. So gold trim on this side. Okay, so I'm going to be rotating the canvas so I can get a nice angle on that fabric. Go ahead, take that color. Just gonna line that. And probably not gonna be that bright of a red for now. Let's go to airbrush, take a bit of this color, and just going to blend it out first. So just trying to contour the body while I do this. Use a slightly bigger brush to get a bit more space. Use a shadow color. Let's take a bit of the blue and incorporate it into the fabric as well. Oh, it looks, yep, it's getting there. Feels nice and smooth. And just gonna go ahead and paint the other side. Let's take a bit of this blue. Darken that. Let me lock that in. And shade that. Shade the trim, the gold trim. And then, well, first I went for a base color. Now adding some highlight to the gold border. Then go back. Just going to line it a bit with shadow and zoom in here. Just gonna paint a slight ripple here. I'm going to, let's go back using the airbrush. I'm just going to subtly paint a couple of wrinkles in the fold, kind of draping over the booty part. Copy paste, cleaning up the shape. Lock that down. I'm going to, let's take a bit of this color and add it where the highlight is for the on the booty. Just kind of bring that highlight over onto the fabric and just kind of blend that in. Take a bit of this. I'm actually gonna, oh, hold on. Select that. Oh gosh. Liquify. Bring it in a bit. Like that. Let's select the whole thing now and play with the contrast. I would like it to have a bit more contrast. Lock the layer so I can gradually bring it up. Now working on the smaller detail, the small wrinkles, just gonna be very careful and add some shadow in these area of the piece. Indicate a bit of the fabric folds. Let me even copy this part and extend this a little over. As for the trim, I'm gonna go over it with some additional shading. Select that part. Let's go ahead and do this. Try to blend this out. Well, let me lock that to this. Okay, so that's the base for this part. Let's go ahead and clean that up a bit more. I'm gonna be adding the smaller details later. And now for this part, so they are kind of separate. I guess I could kind of extend this a bit. Take that part, bring it over. Nah, okay, never mind. I was trying it out a bit. Now time for this one. I'm gonna start off by cleaning up the silhouette a bit more. Okay, and I wanted to make make the fabric a little bit hanging a bit, and have it kind of a bit closer to the camera, so to speak. So I'm just cleaning up the basic shape for it. So I think this is a good clean base. I'm going to select that side. We have the gold trim for that area. Add a bit of lighting towards the upper area. Delete. And I'm just kind of cleaning up the underneath of this part. Just going to indicate a bit of highlight. Yep, pen pressure definitely not working too well. So add a bit of highlight on the bottom. So the bottom of the flap also has some design. So we'll just work on the base and add the design after. Let's do it like this. Try to add some small bit of design here. Let's take this, copy paste, warp this over a bit like that. Let's do this. I'm just adding some more ripples to the drape here. Let me go ahead and shade that and paint back the underside. Lock that in, add, merge down, lock in the layer, add a bit of thickness to the fabric by lining it. Clean it up. Let me do this. I think that should do it. And then, of course, okay. So she's got a bit of those cloud designs. Well, since the majority of the drape is sort of hidden, I could probably, you know, cheat a little. So let's do this. I'm just going to darken those areas and apply the gold trim. Let's do that. Well, actually, no. Doesn't actually look as good as I thought it would. Let me darken that up a bit. Maybe I'll just imply. Let's go ahead and just do. It's kind of hard to put those details in. Maybe I can do one here. Let me see how it would look if I just added that one right there. Nah, let's not do that. I'll just have the design like this then. Okay, and these little tabs there. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. I'm gonna just draw one. The rough shape and add some shadow to it. Add a bit more shadow. Add a bit of highlight. And I'm just gonna copy it throughout, and as well as modifying them a bit while I'm at it. Oh, whoops, copy. Like this, and then I will have to paint a bit of that in. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Take this and put it down here. Or up here, I guess. This one will probably need to be a little bit flatter, like here. Like that. Safe. And then have to do it on the other side too. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna flip it and see what I can do here. Probably I won't be seeing much of it because it's gonna be at a extreme angle. Well, yep, it's very extreme. I'm just going to imply a bit of it. Yeah. Zoomed out, it actually doesn't look too bad. One more. I'm gonna put the last one right here. Alright guys, so I went ahead and finished off the detailing here. And now I wanted to kind of show you guys how typically I would paint a weapon. So basically I grab a 3D model of her sword, like a rough version of it. It's not super detailed, but it's good to have that there because it's gonna serve as a guide. And right next to it I place the reference for the sword based on the 2D concept, and we are gonna be working on it. So I'm gonna have to reference as close as I can to the actual model so that I can try work on it. So let's get started. I already have the base, which means that it shouldn't be too tough. So first I'm going to start by, let's go into airbrush, start by adding some highlight to some of these areas. At the same time, I could use the airbrush to help me, I mean not the airbrush, the lasso tool to help me select some of those areas that I know that I'm going to add a bit more highlight to. So similar to this, I'm gonna use the lasso tool. And using the airbrush in combination to render out the shine of the blade here. And now I'm going to go in here. It's so the red portion of this area is actually quite dull compared to the 3D model that I grabbed. I'm just going to take this color and immediately use that as a base, and I'm also going to add a bit of gradient shine to it too. Let's go here, select that color that's already there, and use it to line the side there. So now we're gonna work on this. Looking at the reference, I'm just going to do a rough guide of how that is supposed to look. So just looking at there and looking back here and cleaning up some of these areas. Okay, now for this part, let's make it a little longer, just like in that concept. Drag it down a bit and trying to be a bit accurate on that. And there's actually a lot of stuff going on too. Let me go ahead, select the other side. Wow, that's very detailed. Let's go ahead and sketch that out. Let's go ahead and gradient that. Select around and gradually blend that in. I'm going to use the lasso tool and select the shape. Blend that in, add a bit of detail. Bring the red detailing up a bit more. Let's go here. Take a bit of this color and I'm just going to Bring the highlight up. There's a bit of a dark border right here too. Copy paste. That's another piece I'm working on. Let's go ahead and shine that in. Alright, now that I have a base of it, it's kind of messy, but I think I can clean it up a bit. Take this color. Let's go ahead and make it nice and shiny. At the border, I'm going to use this, the lasso tool, to help me make a nice clear section here. There. Alright, now that that's done, let me go back to the lasso tool. Let's take this. I'm just going to blend that out. Bring that up. Let's take a bit of this color, bit of the highlight color, and bring that up too, and blend that out. So we'll be doing this for a bit for the weapon side anyways. Okay, now moving on to this portion. So I'm gonna start by adding some shadow onto the red emblem, followed by some highlight. Same for here. Kind of blend that in. I'm just looking over here, so we're gonna have a red design that goes like this. For now, and I think I have the 3D model on the wrong side, but let's go ahead and extend that silhouette up. Well, at least that's how I see it from this point of view. take a bit of this color. I'm just going to start by slightly adding some more rim light on the side here. Still a little messy. Take a bit of this color, bring it up. As highlight. Let's take that highlight and bring that up. Second layer of highlight. Alright, so over here we got a few design going on. Just going to line it first. Take a bit of this color, environmental color. First select it, select, then bring it up. Bring that color up. Let me just clean up the silhouette now. What's this? Oh, that's the reference, okay. Okay, let's see, so we're gonna move on to that part and try to interpret that. The 3D model didn't really have too much detail on that part, so I'm taking the general concept from there. And I'm just using it that, slowly bringing it in here. This part is actually a lot darker too, so I'm going to go ahead and darken that up. Take a bit of this color. Let's take a bit of this environment color. Graze it gently on the side there. And that should be it. I mean, the rest of the sword we won't be able to see too well. I'm going up here and blend that in a bit more. Blend that in a bit. Okay, so that's the... I think I have done the bulk of the... just kind of adding some more detail and stuff. What else can I do? Let me merge down to the sword layer, create another layer. Now let's go around to this side, so I haven't really touched up on this side. So using the lasso tool, I'm gonna do another render pass, kind of like rim light for the blade. Let's go ahead, use this tool right here, do a line. And do that. Let's go here. blend that in. Oh gosh. I said oh gosh because this this setup, well, my new setup is a little hard to get used to, and I keep having the toolbar pop up just because I hover my brush a little lower. So usually, I mean, that never happened with my old setup, so that's why I was like, oh gosh. Time to shade the other side using the airbrush, creating this pattern here. I think that should do it. I could actually add in some additional details by, let's do this. So there's no such detail on the original. However, I could do a little ridge in the center here. I have just kind of have it raised up a little, just to add to the interest of the blade. I'm just going to go onto the other side and redistribute some of that highlight and shadow, make it go up. Then grab a bunch of, I mean, not grab, just kind of scribble a little, alternating between a lighter color and a slightly darker color. Try to be as gentle as I can when I do these strokes, and this will help create a bit of a wear to the blade. I can even do that on the rest of the blade as well. There we go. And create another layer. I'm gonna actually, hold on, use the lasso tool. Let's do this. Copy paste, hue saturation, lighten. Oh, hold on, there we go. Lighten, go into the erase tool. There. Add a bit of more visible highlight where the light source is and all. Something like that. And I'm gonna create another layer. Let's go overlay, and I would like to overlay a bit of cool tone. Like this. Oh, hold on. Oh. I think that should do. Merge down. Let's go here. Create another layer. And I'm just going to add some of this taupe tone into the sword. And just bring that down. Take a bit of this color, bring it up onto this part of the sword. I'm just going to indicate a bit of it. Take a bit of this color. That's... oh! Okay, it's lagging a little. Alright, so this is the paint over final result for the sword. I'm gonna go up here to the hilt and do a bit more work. It is a little messy, and as you can see, the hands are also a little messy, so I will eventually go on that layer as well to clean it up a bit too. So it's got this bit of detail. Create another layer. Actually, you know what? I think in order for this to show, I'm gonna have to put it down here. And I am lining it or setting it up. So just doing the silhouette for now. Oh, where's the reference? Move the reference down here. And let's go ahead and paint the tussle in. Delete. Let's go ahead and reuse some of that the color and adding a basic highlight for this area. Refine it a bit and pretty much just layer on more shadow, highlight, etc. Let's go to the jade piece here. Let's add a tiny bit of ridge lighting or rim light. Let's bring this down. Delete. Lock it in. Let's go ahead and take that. And increase the brightness. Let me go ahead and erase a bit of that. Take this. Merge down and merge onto the sword layer, and that's what we have for the sword layer. As you can see, I also added the emblem on the opposite side, and this is probably going to be a similar process as when I did the hairpins. So I would paint over it, edit it a little bit to make it fit the image, and that's how I would do it. But before that, I would like to go ahead and continue the drape for the character. So let me go ahead. Where did I put the reference? I think it's supposed to be this. Oh, okay, here we go. Alright, so doesn't seem to be any detail on the back, perhaps I'll do a similar to this area here. So go back to the drape. First things first, I'm just going to edit it, make sure it's nice and clean before I start doing anything with it, or the shape is nice and clean. Then grabbing some of the background color and start incorporating it into the piece. Darken that up. Let me add a bit more of the background color in here. Let's take a bit of this color, bring it forward. And let me check out the reference real quick, see how that is. So there's gonna be a line in the center. Go back to the drape. Let's do that. Delete. Okay. I'm going to try to smooth this part out a bit. It's a little lumpy. Next up, I will be working on the reverse side of these areas. So, okay, let me just grab the reference. Roughly looks like this. So for here, I'm gonna reference this side. Let's go ahead, grab, constrain a new layer onto the drape layer. Gonna take this and oh, hold on, and I'm gonna kind of roughly try my best to replicate what I see, although it probably won't be too accurate, but at least we will have a bit of the detail. So actually that doesn't look too bad, and I'm gonna bring a bit of that onto here too. And gonna use a slightly bigger airbrush for this. I'm using airbrush for this these areas because I find solid round brush when it comes to small details or something like this, after I do it, it might look a little too sharp. But airbrush, if you're just using it with with a smaller size airbrush, usually it has a nice soft look, but it won't look overly soft. And it's a good way to add, kind of work up a base that you can build from. So yeah, I'm happy with how this looks. I'm gonna lock it down and take a bit of the other color. Let's go ahead and there. Add a bit of highlight and shadow to this. Unlock it. Zoom in here. I'm going to go in with a much brighter color and start really emphasizing on some of those gold ridges. I'm being quite sparing with where I place these sharper, brighter color. I think that should do it. And I can also at the same time take a bit of the fabric highlight and add a bit of texture to that as well. Let me merge down and let me clean up the silhouette. Block that in. Create another layer. I'm gonna go ahead and do that so it looks like this, and then has a hook, a little bead here, and the tassel. Block in the shape, and also I'm going to warp it as well. I think I'll go with this. So got the base down. Now I'm gonna start by shading it. You can either start off with a highlight or a shadow. I went with the shadow. And I'm just going to continue. Actually, let's not do that. Let's just highlight the top. Do this. And take this whole part, bring that up a bit. Add a bit more highlight. There, just kind of add that additional detail after I finish sort of rendering it to a point where I'm satisfied. I can go ahead and play around with it a bit more if I feel like there needs to be more work. Let me use a bit of the cool tone and emphasize the other side of that emblem and bring a bit of it into the tassel as well. And usually just trying to see, you know, if I add a bit of cooler tone in or warmer tone in, if that would look any different. So this face is still quite experimental, trying to see what works and what doesn't. I mean, this doesn't look too bad. Let me go ahead and add a bit more shadow here. I think that works. Onto the other side, I also flip the canvas, create another layer, press Alt Constraint down. So I'm gonna try to keep it similar vibes to here. Take a bit of this color, and okay, let me grab that. Grab the reference, put it closer here. Alrighty, let's do this. Okay, so just gonna basically reference off of this. Go ahead and do a little cloud here. And let me do my own interpretation here, just adding some smaller detail here. Block that in. There. Add a bit of shadow to it. Take a bit of this color. And using it sparingly to add some very intense lighting. I'm going to lower the opacity a bit to help it blend a bit more into the fabric and warp it a bit to fit. Go back to the drape layer, take this and basically blend this up. Make it a little bit shinier. Just adding some additional detail to help the gold detail to blend a bit more into the background. I mean, to the drape fabric. I think that should do it. Merge down. Remove that. Alright guys, time to take it up from here. I'm gonna be working on her gloves now. Just some additional detail that needs to be cleaned up. So, got the arm layer. Zoom in here at 100%. Let me go ahead, create a whole new layer. And start by emphasizing the gold trim. Take a bit of this. And back to here, I'm going to actually create a seam here. So using a even smaller brush, just gonna line that, and then around it I'm going to be indicating several stress lines where the fabric is being pulled. Same for the other side. Pretty much doing a bit of scribbling here for this face. Let me take this color, use it on this side too. Take this color and bring it down here. So this just makes it look a little bit more behaving like fabric. Take this color and blend that in. I'm going to then use a darker color after I refine most of it. I'm going to be doing a few lines. Just gonna highlight some of that area. Take a bit of this color, place it down here. Okay, now it's starting to, the design of the glove starting to show a bit more. Doesn't seem to be much gold design on top here, but I think I could try to see if I can incorporate a bit of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint some slight design that fits her character. Incorporate that a little bit on the glove. So that is the base color. Then I'm gonna go in with a highlight color, just adding it to some of the areas. Go back in with a much darker color. There. Take a bit of the highlight color, bring it down here too. Go ahead, grab the shadow color for the glove and bring it down here too. There. I think that's a pretty good level of detail for the glove. Let's go take this color. bring the blue color all the way around here, and I'm gonna incorporate it up here on her glove area, and use a shadow color. Go ahead and add the seam for the glove, add additional detail surrounding the seam like that. At the same time, I'm gonna be cleaning up some of these areas too. Merge down. Let's go ahead and highlight that area in particular. Go into multiply. Darken that area. Darken it up a bit. And I think that's pretty much it for the glove. It's just a little bit more detailed. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this piece. I'll probably be making it slightly more detailed, play around with it a bit more. Still trying to find a good place to put this smoke, or maybe it should just be behind her, but definitely trying to figure out where to put the smoke. But yeah, this is the typical way in which I forgot to do this, render the emblem. Let's go ahead and do that before I end this. Let's go find the emblem. Okay, here, it's here. So the main thing for painting over something is that it has a better, it's a little bit easier because you already know the structure or the main structure. So I'm gonna start out by, where is it? Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay. Copy paste. I'm gonna go ahead and darken it first. After darkening, oh, here we go. Darkening after that, I'm going to start by adding in some lighting. Let's go ahead and brighten that up. Add a bit of highlight to the tassel in which I will be editing a little bit after. Take this color and kind of just line it along the ridges. Take a bit of brighter purple, add it onto this side. I'm gonna do a triangular formation here. Actually, let's go take this lasso tool. Let's do this shape. Brighten it. Actually, shadow here, highlight here. So I'm going to add several planes onto this amulet. Let's go ahead and do several lines. Add that in. It's starting to look a little bit different from the original non-painted over version. So this is what I usually try to do. If I do paint over something, I'm going to try to make sure that it is different enough from it. But still, we're using it as a guide where to place certain things. go ahead, use the lasso tool. I'm gonna merge down, use the lasso tool. Delete. Let's put it around here. Oh, hold on. Here too. Delete. And I believe that should be it. And yeah. So I will be doing a bit more rendering to make this look a little bit better. Definitely need to work on that back leg there. Oh, delete. But this is just the beginning. Usually I probably spend a bit more time refining and adding a bit more details, and yep. Anyways, I hope you guys learned something from that. I know it was kind of short, but I suppose if you are willing to put in more time and effort, then it will look more refined, but some artists prefer it a little bit rougher. It all depends on your preference. I like to make it keep refining until I'm satisfied. So usually that takes quite a while, and yeah, definitely encourage you guys to experiment, test stuff out, you know, and try to have fun with it too. I know that when I really start enjoying painting something, it usually turns out better than those times where I am not enjoying it as much. So yeah, having fun is quite important as well. Anyhow, I will see you guys in the next voiceover. Have a great day or night, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.